And what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Uncommon Line Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. I'm here with Mark. Day 2 of Total Recon. Jess is behind the camera. Thank you so much, my wife, as she counted it down in a very strange
Just so everybody
way,
knows, we have to restart that.
Yeah.
Brad wasn't satisfied with the countdown.
Because she's like 3, 2, 1, and like doesn't show it. We got these headphones on. I don't know what's going on. So, anyways, guys, welcome to the Uncommon Line Podcast. Day 2 of Total Recon. So yesterday we were here, dude, and we did the live event for Triarc Systems.
Yeah.
It was awesome, and now it's kind of like today we're doing a little bit of everything. We're doing both. So we're doing the podcast here, and then they're going to be having live down at Texas Gun Experiences where we're at. So 2021 Total Recon at Texas Gun Experience. This place is unbelievable.
Dude, it's wild out here, man.
Yeah. Truly, I don't even know how to explain this place, dude. I mean,
dude, it's literally, I don't know how you say it, but it's an event center, man. It's like it's like what he said. It's like the Disneyland for like gun experience.
Yep.
You have your guns here, you have knives here, you have a shooting range, you have training opportunities. It's this all-in-one package. There's equipment here, there's bags here. I mean, everything. It's crazy. I haven't explored too much because Christine would be really mad at me.
Yeah, dude, we could. Well, it's unfortunate my wife's here because several of these guns would have already been mine.
Oh yeah, she already has my wallet. It's in her purse.
Yeah.
it wasn't allowed to take it out.
I mean, we've got. I mean, this whole room. So if you're watching on camera behind us, we've got a whole. I mean, it's a whole retail area, right?
Yeah.
Which is something in and of itself. Past that is lanes, and then you've got a VIP room, VIP range, VIP bar, kitchen area, VIP sitting area, and then a whole training room. And I was just talking to Brian. We're going to bring Brian back on from Texas Gun Experience. I don't know what Jess is saying. What is she? She's clapping at us. Clap. Well, okay, we're clapping. Anyways, can I continue on talking about Texas Gun Experience? Goodness gracious, I missed Jay already. Anyways, so talking to Brian about their plans and stuff here at Texas Gun Experience, expanding. I didn't realize that there were so many Texas Gun Experiences in the DFW area.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, they've got several, and then this is planning on being expanded. So it's a really, really cool place. And so if you're in the Grapevine area, you need to come check out Texas Gun Experience. You can see them on Instagram. Check out their website. It's not just a gun range.
No. Man, and they're located in an awesome spot, like I was saying before. It's right across a nice bunch of restaurant district area, so you can actually make
more hotels coming.
Yeah, or more hotels are coming. But, you can make a day out of it. Hey, you can go somewhere, actually, a really nice place to eat right across the street. You guys can come back over here, experience something that might be a little bit out of your comfort zone or something that you want to find more information about, and you're getting, a full quality experience while you're here. So it's pretty neat, dude.
And if you're, I mean, some of y'all are like, well, I don't live here. Well, are you ever going to be here at DFW Airport and having a layover? Like, you need to come in and play it.
Yeah.
You can rent. If you name the automatic weapon, you can rent it. So they, in fact, today it was an HEK 416 mounted with one of the AccuFire thermals.
There you go.
I mean, minigun. They were setting up the minigun in there. Dude, seriously, name it. So it's a really cool place. We can't speak highly enough. And thank y'all so much for allowing us to come here and set up the show and be at Total Recon. So, anyways, all right. So, kind of the game plan today, guys. If y'all are watching the show, we're going to bring on some different guests, kind of highlighting the event. And our goal in the episode is try to bring the human side of the industry, right? So yesterday during the live we talked a lot about product, right? Product placement and the brands themselves. The thing is, y'all don't know about the people behind that. And the whole thing about the gun industry is people think it's this one-way, one-size-fits-all type thing. Yeah. No, it's the people are walking different walks, living different lives, and it's really cool to be able to highlight that today. So anything on that?
No, man, we're excited. We're excited to meet people who actually want to change the industry, change the culture like we always talk about. What's their why and, why they got involved with this. So I think it's going to be awesome, dude.
So with that being said, guys, we got to thank some of our sponsors. Obviously, thank you to the people that are allowing us to be here at Texas Gun Experience. They're not necessarily a sponsor, but we got to thank them. But we thank 2 of the sponsors that made today possible. The gear, the equipment, kind of where we're at right now with the podcast and goals and everything. We got to thank Triarc Systems and Tachuntfish.
Oh, yeah.
To both of those companies that are sponsored, you need to go check them out. I know most of the people that follow us, they can see that what we're involved in with Triarc, and you can actually use code DUCL for a discount at checkout at Triarc Systems. But also with Tachuntfish, like the amount that they both believe in this brand and the show itself and where we're going it's really cool to see it.
Yeah.
And they're both here. Obviously Triarc Systems here. And Roque flew into town with Tachuntfish to be here amongst a drop.
Yeah. Which he slayed. Dude, and pissing me off, dude. Every freaking minute, little ba-ding, ba-ding.
Not every minute. It was like every second. It was like money made. Money moves.
There's another $1,000.
Yeah.
There's another $1,000.
Yeah. I'm like, what can I have for breakfast? McDonald's dollar menu. Yeah. No. So thank you to both of those guys and being a part of it, and helping build the show. And yeah, we can't thank y'all enough for being sponsors. So
very honored, very blessed. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So you need to make sure you go check them out. www.tachuntfish.com, www.triarcsystems.com. Instagram's at Tachuntfish, at Triarc Systems. You can go to our website, www.theuncommonlinepodcast.com. You can find both of the links under the sponsors page. And some really cool stuff coming out with them. And guys, here's the deal. Obviously, if y'all are interested in being part of the show and being about what we're doing here, and where we're going, we've got some really awesome stuff planned this year in 2021, some goals we want to meet.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, guys, this is getting to be a bigger production, right?
Yeah.
So it's not easy. And we are looking for people to help support the show. And so if you're interested in supporting the show in a sponsorship way, and, you know, that's not just giving to us. Our whole idea of a sponsorship is to give back to you. Yes, it's great when we can be able to sit, and have 4 cameras and, you know, a stage and all this stuff like that. But our goal would be to give back to the brands that are helping us, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a two-way street, and more so, I try to give back more to the sponsors than I would anyway else. So everybody give a hand for Matty Tran. Yeah. But seriously, you know, if you're really interested in checking it out, you can go to our website, www.theuncommonlinepodcast.com, go under the sponsors link, and shoot us an email. If you just want more information, shoot us an email. But we would love, as long as you're an uncommon company and you're doing uncommon things and you want to help change stuff, shoot us an email, man. We would love to have you all on. So anything else, Mark?
Nah, man. I'm excited for today.
All right, so what we got coming up next, we got Brian from Texas Gun Experience. He's going to jump back on the show. He was on the live last night. We're going to talk to him a little bit more about the company itself, the Texas Gun Experience, and what this place is, because I really want y'all to get a grasp of this whole experience. Experience. So, but anyways, guys, so stay tuned. We got a bunch of different interviews coming up today. We're excited for y'all to be here. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, guys, and we are back here at Texas Gun Experience with Texas Gun Experience himself, Brian with the B. Yes, not Ryan. Brian, you back on the show today, actually just the podcast show. We've actually had a really good conversation this morning, kind of talking about this company that you're working for. And some really cool stuff about you, man, is like, which I wouldn't have thought. I would have thought when we were talking about military.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Were you military before?
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps.
Okay, cool, awesome. So you were military, but worked in the motorcycle industry for how many years?
Oh, boy, at least a decade. So, you know, I grew up through the motorcycle industry, and I professionally raced for a couple years, which was really cool. But as much as I know about bikes, I probably know more about firearms.
Yeah.
And the two go kind of hand in hand. I mean, the same demographics, right? So,
especially spoken like a true Marine.
Yes.
Yeah. Like they know their machine guns. And why not work at Texas Gun Experience where there's more machines than God?
Oh, man. Can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
So before we move on, favorite motorcycle?
That's a loaded question. I would say I am motorcycle fluid, and I appreciate all types. Man, so you know, when I raced, I had sport bikes. You know, I still have a dirt bike, and I worked with the cruiser industry forever. So it really depends on where you're at. You know, if you have kind of long, open roads, cruisers, you know, your typical Harley type is really good for that. If you're in an area where you can kind of open it up a bit and get in some more, you know, twisty roads, you know, sport bikes or, you know, like the supermoto types.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So.
We were just talking about that before we got on.
Dude, riding a bike in the DFW Metroplex.
Dude, we were just talking about that.
Fuck that noise.
Dude, they're so angry.
Yeah, and especially if you're riding like a 1200 Sportster in the middle of 6:35 traffic at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you just end up being covered in sweat because you're so freaking nervous
That's
about.
why they need to introduce lane splitting here. You know, just people are just, man, they'll come over. You got the big trucks. You know, this is Texas. So the big tires sticking out. You don't want to smack one of them.
Yeah. So how did you make the transition from
so
Marines to motorcycle to I'm going to work here at TG?
I was a little older when I joined the Marines, but you know, so I was going to school and then got into bikes. I don't know, I wanted to be a biker boy, you know, so got into bikes, selling them, learned a lot, and then, you know, I was like, man, I want to just do something different. I felt like I was missing something out, so I joined the Marine Corps. And, you know, it's probably not the smartest decision for some, but, you know, I enjoyed it. You know, I think it's one of those experiences that, you know, not many people have, you know, enlisting. and good and bad. You know, it's you know, you learn and grow from it. But got back out and continued on into the motorcycles, and I looked at it as like, man, that's what I know. You know, so it was really easy for me to transition back into that. And then, you know, when we I'm not from Texas, but when we moved to Texas here,
Where are you from?
I grew up in Northeast Ohio, so Akron, Cleveland area.
Not like California or anything.
No, we did do a stint behind enemy lines out there, but you know, found our home here in Texas, and we really like it. My wife and I, and yeah, so you know, I was working in the bike industry here, and really wanted just another change of pace. And it was weird, you know, I just kind of saw this ad pop up for, I think, a sales person for an up-and-coming gun range. So I was like, oh, let me look at it. It's not really, I don't want to jump into sales. You know, I've been working in marketing for a couple of years, and reached out, and we had a conversation, and you know, I got this envision put upon me of what this place was going to be. You know, this was just a shell back then, and you know, here it is now. So, you know, I've been fortunate to be part of like the ground up, you know, building of this, and really a part of like understanding of what our goal is. And man, our ceiling's so high, and it's so exciting, and man, there's just so many things that we could do. It's just a great business to be a part of. You know, the gun industry is alive and well. You know, it's,
what was the main thing that attracted you to it? Like, you talk
hold,
about
hold on one second.
What is happening?
Can anybody hear that?
What?
Did anybody just hear that?
That's
Hold on.
Yeah.
What is going on right now?
You did not hear the minigun going off?
Oh,
It's called the M134.
Dude.
Listen.
Oh,
That's why I'm here to learn. Okay,
Right,
I
right.
know a little
my
bit of
seat
myself.
just
but,
vibrated, and yeah.
all right, here we go.
Yeah.
We'll get to the machine gun
Yeah.
experience.
Anyway,
so
back
go ahead.
to the
Go ahead,
question.
Mark.
Yeah.
But what was it that attracted you to Texas Gun Experience itself?
Yeah,
What was
honestly,
it that
this whole
sold you on it?
story evolves around the two dealer principals, the two owners, and they're brothers. You know, they took over a small gun store from their father, who had one here in Grapevine. They moved it down to Bedford, and it was your typical gun store. We kind of hit about yesterday a little bit. So, you know, you walk in, a little small footprint, real homey. You know everyone's face there, and they did really well. So they, you know, customer focus was the biggest thing, and that's how it grew so fast. So you had this small company that, I mean, grew 10 times its size in business over, you know, just a few years. And their whole goal and vision was to create this. You know, they wanted some type of range and experience. And as this got built out, and as we got in here and doors open, we really started to understand that this is going to be that experience, and not just a retail and range.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more to offer. So, you know, really what's my job is, you know, is to focus on that customer experience and make sure that you know, that end user, you know, they're really coming here, and you know, whether they're a gun person or not, they're leaving with that once in a lifetime opportunity, you know, to shoot a machine gun, shoot a minigun, or, you know, find a home to where this is their first gun purchase, or maybe it's their 30th gun purchase, you know. So, you know, we really want to take care of that customer, and man, that experience it's so big, and it's growing, and it just keeps adding to how we can, you know, deliver.
Something you and I were talking about that was really, really interesting, and we're seeing the evolution of the gun industry, right? And this is something that I want. This is to me was really uncommon about this company. Going into what, you know, we'll ask you a question later on, but we look at the demographics that y'all have done some studies on of who's buying guns. This process is very intimidating for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
I see a great split, you know, between women and men here. Yeah, some dudes with big old beards, but at the same time women, but everybody's very knowledgeable, right? Tell us a little bit about the demographics and what y'all have studied that's actually walking through your doors. It's very surprising.
Yeah, we joke because I'm probably like the most tactical looking dude here, you know. It's like you go to most gun stores and it's, you know, guys with beards and tattoos, like, you know, what do you want? So 46% female, 54% male.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
That is
insane.
crazy,
That's
dude.
a lot of female.
Yeah, that
I mean,
is.
good. That's
No,
a
no,
positive thing.
That's not something that I was expecting.
Right, and we don't have to do it to pander, you know, so we
Right.
don't have to sell the pink guns and all this stuff. Like, you know, firearms are, you know, the Second Amendment, you know, is for everybody, you know, so it doesn't matter color, you know, God, race, you know, anything, it's for everybody. So we see a large demographic of women, I think, because you come in here, you know, you're greeted by smiling faces. No one's here to intimidate you or, you know, say you don't rate. You know, it's a very clean store, aesthetically pleasing, so it kind of takes some of that tension away. And the way this was built here, too, is when you walk in, the first thing you see isn't necessarily guns, you know. You'll get overwhelmed by the walls of guns later, but you come in, You know,
big old fireplace.
Yeah, big fireplace. You know, we kind of set the mood right. You know, it's a welcome desk here. You know, with smiling faces. We have a lounge typically where the stage is, and then you walk into the business end of it. And this whole point is, again, whether you're proficient or not, we want to create that welcoming environment. No matter the skill level.
Yeah.
Did you see that vision, or in the beginning when you first hired on, where we are right now?
Right.
Did you have that envision yourself?
With the demographics, we had no idea. That was what we were hoping for, and a lot of companies spend good money on. Ours was that customer service part.
Yeah.
So, everybody just lives and dies by 5-star reviews anymore, and that's what we said, hey, that's what we're focused on.
Yeah.
And so I think that was effect of us just having good customer service.
Yeah.
Now we can grow into all these ladies events, so we have our own ladies shooting club that we created just because there's women starving for, good, training, good information that isn't so watered down and all just because you're a girl, but it's for them too, so.
The whole ideology of like girl shooting and everything. First off, my wife's a badass shot. We've got Brittany May here.
I was about to say,
that would
Brittany.
burn it down with any of you motherfuckers. So,
Right.
It's like power to it. And I'm glad we're seeing this. It's cool to see the change in demographic, right? Like I want to see that change in demographic.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see more people that regular gun owners that don't know what they're talking about. I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody, but somebody that has this judgmental idea of the industry itself, look at that and go, wow, that's so different. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. What we talked about earlier, there's so much more that goes into it besides like, oh yeah, I just point and shoot. I was like, no, you don't just point and shoot. Like that's not how it works. There's an actual reason and why, and like it's an actual. That's why we call it a weapon system. It's an actual system that does something. You have to use the mechanics correctly in order for that system to work. So,
and I think y'all are doing a really good job of like not making that intimidating, right? Like what y'all built here and continuing to build. Like, we joked about this yesterday when we were talking. Angela was driving us around and everything. Like, you've built an experience.
Right.
It's not just the gun.
Yeah.
It's everything else that comes along with it. The events, the stuff. For a lot of people, the social atmosphere of it is huge when you're looking in a company like this.
Oh yeah.
So, a high-level look at just retail sales. Everyone's, bitching about the ammo and, guns and all this stuff. Like, we get it, just super high-level, when lockdowns happened, people were buying guns and ammo like toilet paper and water. Then there was all the riots. There was stimulus checks. There was more riots. So anytime a city got burnt down, we see more waves of people. The story of 2020 was new gun ownership. And we were joking about this earlier. We'd have guys... big burly dudes come in here, you think we're the gun, they were that gun guy. And they were just in here, I'm terrified of this place, I want nothing to do with it, but please teach me. So I thought that was really cool, and big that those people were reaching out. So there was no political lines when it came to people wanting to protect themselves. And then now it's like, well, what do? You got, 8 million new gun owners?
Golly, yeah.
So they need training. You want them to kind of buy into the community and be safe. So, yeah, the training aspect we just hooked up with USCCA, and they're a really big...
Yeah, we got them coming on a little bit later. So,
really cool. We're really excited about that. But between all the training rooms, we do everything from if you've never touched a gun before, all the way up to we have fire movement, shooting behind barricades, low light stuff. We want to hook up with Brittany to do some, with her training with us.
Should be here in June.
Yeah.
We're going.
So, so we're growing that aspect of it, and we've... Obviously, we've noticed that there's more needs from us for the training, so we're looking to build more into that too. So we want to build a training facility just for that. That way we don't have to tie up lanes here. We can have a facility off-site, still in the same footprint here, but to where we can really focus on that training. So that's a big part of it.
That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for talking about this. But before we let you go, man, you've kind of got an interesting background with your service and everything, which we could go into a lot more and a lot longer if we had more time. But, one of the questions we ask a lot of our guests is this. In a world of commonality, right? In a world where there's just common bullshit, people don't do anything above and beyond excellence. They just settle for who they are. Your experience of where you at, the life you've walked and everything, what do you believe, in your opinion, is being uncommon?
Honestly, it's okay to pick up some trends, but you don't have to fit into a social stereotype You could be a badass, trigger puller, and you can do musicals. Like own whatever you want. So I don't think you have to fall into the same, box. So you could pull from a bunch of different, whether it's genres. If it's gun stuff, you could also have you could compare it to politics too. Like you could be, socially liberal but fiscally conservative. Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in the
don't
middle.
believe that, but yeah.
Kind of staying true to those convictions. Just don't fall into the pressure of, well, the rest of my family, rides this wave, so I'm going to say I do too. Like, man, it's a lot more badass to say, hey, I believe in this and I stand up for this. And yeah, it may fit a couple different, stereotypes, but that's okay. It's kind of setting your own trend.
I like how you put that. That's well articulated and it makes sense. And that's the problem. You said something that I really like, and we've mentioned it on some episodes before. Like, don't put me in a box, bro.
Yeah.
Don't put me in a box. You put me in a box, I get pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Although many times, you find yourself in that box, and it's okay to live there, right? In that moment, it's just being okay to branch out in those other things,
right.
But don't put me in the box. I'll put myself there.
Yeah.
Don't put me there.
Right.
But no. So thank you so much, man, for coming on. Where can people find out more information, especially about memberships and everything? We didn't even get into that, but I want you to guide them where they can go.
So just head on over to TexasGunExperience.com. Pretty much at Texas Gun Experience on all social media, and real easy to find. I mean, our machine guns are second to none. We have probably one of the largest inventories in the country. One of the few indoor miniguns. That's a whole nother segment on its own, which we'll give you guys access to if you want. But
yes,
yeah, all the information there. It's really cool. So whether you're a first-time shooter or you're very seasoned, there's something here for everybody. Knives, guns, accessories, gear, training, all of it.
That's awesome. All right, guys, so we've got some other guests coming up, so stay tuned. Mark, you got anything else in closing?
Nah, man. Thanks for
thank you, guys. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. And we're talking about some other stuff that we may do here at TG. We've got some other podcasts coming up, and so I look forward to having that conversation and going there. So, all right, guys, so stay tuned. Give us a few minutes. We'll be right back. We got some other guests coming up. All right? All right, guys, and we're back here at Total Recon, Texas Gun Experience. We got Kaitlyn Lowes. We've been following her. Obviously, she's tied in with Triarc and everything. And Living My Dream would be the title of this portion of this podcast, right? Every single day she's posting something. The deer you got at what ranch was it?
Red Sands Ranch in
My
Batesville.
goodness, and what did it score?
I don't even know yet.
You
the
don't?
gross score we're thinking is close to 170. But for me, that's the biggest deer I've ever shot in my entire life.
That's awesome. Here, move up to the mic just a little bit more. You can move
Okay.
up. You can move the mic around and everything. Yeah.
I've never shot a deer.
Yeah.
I know. I am a complete novice at hunting.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever done hunting is with Brad, and I went straight to the black.
I took him bird hunting.
Yeah.
We're gonna get him hunting. We got to do it. We actually want to film it part of the podcast, like his first time doing it, because it's such an important part of my life and everything, and I really want him to experience it. But you, it's an influencer, but yet this is your life. Built in with all these different brands, and so this isn't just someone with an Instagram. Like, this is your life, and you're getting to live an incredible life, which is awesome.
I'm very blessed, I can tell you all that much.
Yeah.
It's been better than I could have expected.
So before we get into it, where can people find out and kind of watch your life live out with all these other brands?
On my Instagram, it's just my name, Kaitlyn Lowes. So you can just follow me on there and see what I do on the weekends and weekdays. And I feel like I don't get a lot of sleep, so I'm always doing something.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's super badass, though.
Yeah,
Right.
it is. It is. Better not to be stagnant than to be stagnant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so tell us about this event versus going to SHOT Show. What makes an event like this at Total Recon, especially with what you do tied in with the brands you're doing and the influencing that you're doing and the marketing? Why are events like this so important in today's realm of the industry?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm sure, as you all know, SHOT Show obviously was canceled this year. It's the first time it's been canceled in probably ever. I'm not quite sure. But events like this is very important because it really draws out the community of where you actually are. And that's something that we really need to push forward on, make sure we get people involved in the industry. And the main way we're going to be able to do that is actually actively going out in the community and searching for people and having people search for us. So I'm definitely thankful to be here, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we are here, is just to help with the public.
Yeah. And now more than ever, it's great to see and we just got done talking to this with Brian on TGE, is like the connection people are making within the industry, and like so many first-time gun buyers that typically this would be like very intimidating to some people,
right?
You know, and it's people like yourself and people like this, things like this event that are breaking down those barriers to open up this industry to anybody and everybody.
Absolutely.
And there's avenues for anybody and everybody.
Absolutely. Yes. And that network, you know, you think about just a neighborhood, that network is worldwide. I can't even tell y'all how many people I've met in different countries and in different communities, that everything all just like ties in together, and it's fun. And obviously I'm not a very shy person, and so for me it's fun to be able to get with a lot of other brands, do a lot of collaborations, because you meet, you know, gun owners, you meet equipment, and obviously I do a lot of horseback stuff, so I like to be able to tie all that stuff in together, and you just never know who you're going to meet. You know, my motto is, you get in a world of people or a community like this, you meet one person that could change your life, and you have no idea and how. And luckily,
and that's true. Like how? Like
how
has that changed? So with that being said, you kind of alluded to a little bit, like how did you get involved in this?
I was literally just about to ask that.
And you don't need to do a whole time, because I know we're pressed for time, but I at least want you to highlight that, because I mean, you've got a cool story and everything they're doing, so I at least want people to kind of know a little bit about you so they can put a face to the story.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I actually grew up here in Texas, and my grandfather, after World War II, bought a ranch just west of the Metroplex, and I was lucky enough to be able to grow up there, go hunting and shooting and whatnot. And it's only been within the last few years that I've really gotten involved with a lot more of the pistol training and long range stuff like that. So a lot of people don't own land, and it's becoming even less and less. You know, public hunting is becoming a lot more popular now, and I've just been lucky to be able to be immersed in that from an early age. And so from there, you know, I got picked up by companies. I work with Pulsar Night Vision, Dead Air Silencers, Sightmark, and then I'm also an agent for a company out of Spain and South Africa. So I do some international stuff as well. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those
she's
things.
not like a spy agent.
Yeah.
Because social media is so stupid. We'll get that. She's an agent.
Right.
What does that mean? No, like so these are
hunting agent.
A hunting agent,
I
right?
sell
Yeah.
ibex hunts.
Which is unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So.
Have you been there on the hunts too?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. And after this, actually, I'm headed to an SCI event in West Texas. So
wow.
It's a lot of work for me for the weekend, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's awesome.
So something that's really cool about you, and I've been following. So the cowboy shooter that I've been just started following on Instagram, I'm fascinated by. The horseback stuff that you've done has been fascinated by. Shooting old school guns off of a freaking horse.
Yeah.
I'm just like sit there and enamored by it, because to me it like goes back to like the old cowboy and Indian thing,
right.
Of just like there's something just I don't even know, like
American, man.
American and
That's what it
organic about it, right?
is.
Now you've done some crazy stuff shooting off a horse,
I have.
but so the horse is obviously a big part of the social media. And what's your horse's name again?
Kodak.
Yeah, that's awesome. So have you always been around horses?
Yes. I've ridden. I mean, it's basically my second nature to walking. I'm just as comfortable on a horse, if not more comfortable, you know, than I am walking on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So I don't even think about that part. And
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky, obviously, being able to grow up with that. But you know, we talk about how did I get started in this. Well, the horseback stuff, I was just out riding at our ranch one day and realized that my horse just loved it as much as I did and wouldn't spook at the animals. And I'm thinking, you know, I can hunt, I can ride horses, and so why not make it something I can do all together? And it just worked.
Well, that's awesome. All right, so once again, where can people find you, and kind of drop some of the companies that you're tied in with, because that's really important, because you're just walking a really cool walk, and I want people to know more about it.
Thank you. My Instagram is just Kaitlyn Lowes, KAITLYNLOWES, and some of the companies that I work for is Pulsar Night Vision, Sightmark, Dead Air Silencers, 4 Aces Outfitters out of Spain and South Africa, and now I'm doing a lot of collaborations with Triarc.
That's awesome. Yeah, she was in the shop one day and got her hands on the bolt gun.
Yes.
So I was very jealous about that.
Oh my gosh, that bolt gun is incredible.
Yeah.
1,400 yards off a tripod. That's
awesome.
my personal record with the tripod.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if it was past 12 o'clock, I'd raise a glass and cheers to you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll be right back. She's got to get to another part of this event going on right now. Make sure you check her out and all the stuff that she's doing, all the companies she's involved with. So we'll be right back, guys. Thank you very much. I got you. All right, guys, and we are back here at Total Recon, Texas Gun Experience. I'm going to not keep saying that every time because now everybody should know where we're at, right?
TGE.
If you don't know, then rewind and start from the beginning. Don't, start from the back. But we're here with one of our sponsors, and thank you to one of our sponsors for the great new cameras.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tachuntfish. We're here with Roque.
You're welcome, man.
Thank you for coming down this weekend, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Thoughts on the weekend so far?
Man, I'm actually surprised. I wasn't sure what to expect. This actually wasn't necessarily planned for us, but I'm glad I got invited to it, and it kind of turned out to a really nice event. I mean, it's still kind of low-key, which is still very private, but there's a lot of people that are able to kind of like mix and mingle to where you're not so pressured, and actually it's so overwhelmed with the amount of people that are here, so it's been like a real steady pace. It's been super chill.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Exactly, and it's cool, man, because it's like a good mix of people, right?
It is, yeah.
Different people within the industry, some gun owners, some not gun owners. It's just like new gun owners, old gun, so it's a really cool mix of everybody here. So, and he was here amongst a drop.
Yeah.
So literally at last night's live preview show on Triarc Systems.
You're welcome.
He's here with us just making money moves, as we said. So, because we've got a lot of listeners now that are catching on to the vibe of Tachuntfish, and you're welcome for that. And, kind of moving forward into the new year, do you have anything, got other stuff planned that coming up?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, and just talking with Mark the other day, there's a lot of new projects that, so we already had projects going on. Obviously, like guys know that we had that Triarc 8.3, which is going to be a Triarc THF 300 blackout that's going to be geared towards more hunting and also just dudes who like to shoot at the range. But we're working on details on that. That's pretty much like my reason up here. And then aside from that, we are going to be kind of working towards, we just had our flannel drop. So that was like the first little dip into the flannel game, and hopefully we can get some pretty good patterns up and keep it consistent throughout the year. So that's going to be the primary goal. We do have another, garments are going to be dropping as far as bottoms. Tracksuit was a new thing, so that's going to be thrown into the mix.
Did you get the tracksuit?
I did it, man.
You did.
Christine said we can only buy one thing each.
Oh, God.
So
That's
I
fair,
got
though.
the flannel.
It's okay. My wife asked, how much was it? I was like, I don't even know. I just, paid the invoice. So. But she had some stuff on there, too, which is really cool, man. The girls' game and the girls' drip is taking off like wildfire.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's funny that you all say that because we've been primarily going towards the men's market, but the females also, they do really like our stuff. They like the fit, they like the comfort. So we're starting to pretty much everything that we've supplied for the guys thus far is going to be transferred over to the women plus more. So and I was talking to Mark. I said we're probably going to have just a strict women's drop coming up. We'll see how that goes.
HF.
Yeah.
Innovative.
Yeah. Innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And, Brittany May that's here, she's caught on to it.
Yeah.
We saw her posting some stuff, man. It's cool to see both of these worlds kind of like, coming together and melding together, man. And what's awesome, dude, about and for the girls, something I found interesting that all different body types are wearing it.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily true for other companies that may spell out lemon in another variation.
But that's not,
it's one type of body.
Yeah,
right?
but that's not your. That's one of your guys' original mission statement was like, we're not making products for like these super yoked dudes who are going to look good and whatever they throw on. They're
most definitely.
Just for the average guy that's out there, or the average person who just wants to work out and be comfortable with it. So it's pretty awesome.
And it started off because we didn't know what the market was going to be like. This is brand new to us. So we started out with just small, medium, large, extra large. Then it went into 2XL, and then the guys started asking for 3XL. We went 3XL. Now we're 4XL.
Some big boys.
Yeah, hey, but it's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like,
fine.
that's what's up. I love it.
Yeah. I know. I was like, especially on the flannels, I was like, well, I got to go big boy style.
Dude, yeah. I went XL, man.
Yeah. No, I went double XL, bro.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Right. Because we were talking about the fit and everything.
Well,
And I want to be able to wear it over stuff.
Right.
But what is awesome about this flannel, and I know we keep talking clothes, but anyways.
I know.
Okay. We have to, yeah. What's awesome about this flannel, so I'm a Dixon fan, right? I think we all like Dixons. We've all come up like great thing. The thing about Texas, though, is like
hot, bud.
It's hot, and I can't wear it. Like then I'm shedding it, so I always have to wear an undershirt because sometimes it's just too hot, right?
Right.
And I think that the thickness, this flannel, is butter.
Yeah.
Like between
a little stretch to it.
Little stretch, not too thick, not too thin. And then the color, y'all just hit out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super happy with it.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm excited for your other stuff you're gonna drop too, man. I think it's gonna be badass.
Like I was in, I mean, dude, and anytime I see the shorts posted anywhere, like when I sent you the message on Mountain Ops, I was like, hell yeah, look at the painters.
Oh, dude, I know. I was like, why is this guy mentioning this? And I looked and I said, oh, shit, those are our shorts.
Yeah.
I had no idea, dude.
No, then here's what I was doing. I took my painter's short and I was like, before I message him, I want to make sure these are their shorts. And I'm like, yeah, this is their slate, you know, which is really cool. You know, seeing y'all's growth, man, and seeing where y'all are going. And being able to connect like with people here at the event, like being able to introduce y'all and everybody's. It's like I don't even have to introduce. I'm gonna have to not introduce him because he's Tachuntfish. I know who he is. You know.
So we were talking about the other day. Everybody gets introduced by their freaking like Instagram name, their avatar name. Like, hi, I'm THF. Oh, THF. What's going on?
It's like
I'm Murky Murk.
We should be walking around with like Sims with little diamonds around our head with our logos
Revelations,
and our
man.
names.
Revelations.
Yeah, because I say it Roken, they're like, they look at me like, okay, they probably don't even know. They
Yeah.
don't understand it or
Like,
they
hey,
don't know how
is
to
this guy
say it.
supposed
Yeah.
to be here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is Tachuntfish, and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard about you all, and it's like, or I've seen you all. I was like, oh shit.
And I keep wanting to do rock just because, like, keep it something personal, like just the UCL and croquet. It's just between us, like, you know. But no, dude, like, I'm excited you're being. It's been a crazy weekend. I wish we were able to.
Yeah, how's your
relax.
hosting accommodations?
Yeah.
No, it's
how
amazing.
is your stay here?
How's your driver doing?
Yeah.
No, you are doing great. Yeah, I mean, it's super comfortable. Like I told Mark's mom, I actually met her today. You know what I mean? So we were talking, and she's had a bunch of questions, and it's super hospitable. Like everything about it is just amazing. You know what I mean? Your parents are just great.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, how did you just meet Mom?
She wasn't here
She
last
wasn't
time.
here. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you got to meet everybody, and
Yeah,
Right,
she met
Yeah.
Shelly, Cocaine Shelly.
are you going? Are you going to your second hotel
Yeah,
now?
I guess people probably won't
Hey,
understand
Mark,
that.
is he going to the second hotel stay?
Yes,
Yeah.
tonight I believe he'll come to the second hotel.
So I asked
stay.
Mark, I was like, dude, because originally, like, I was going to take care of it all, right? And make
Yeah.
sure everything coordinated. And then I was like, holy crap. Like, we got this big event, obviously a bigger production. We've got my parents staying at the house. Now we've sold the house. We're moving. All this stuff. And I'm like, but I don't want him to feel like he doesn't have a place to stay. And I'm like, Mark, handle it. Get him a place to
Oh,
stay.
yeah. I was like, you could stay with us. And then my wife's like, we have a wedding shower. I was like, you could stay with my parents.
But anyway,
Yeah,
so
totally
he's
cool,
got to
man.
go back to the different hotel tonight. But so he's going over.
yeah,
Yeah.
tonight he'll come up
Cool.
because they'll jump ship tonight. So
Cool. Well, dude, it's really good, man, to have you here, and I wish it was a little bit more relaxed like last time but I'm glad everybody's here, meeting everybody, and like all the worlds are colliding. And
it's awesome, dude.
It's really
Yeah, it's
cool.
been a
It's
great
really neat
time,
to
man.
see.
Yeah, I really appreciate it for sure.
Cool. So you're actually finishing up the fine-tuning of the 8.3 project. You've got it here on the range at Texas
Right.
Gun Experience. How did it shoot?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. We did a little slight changes to it, and now I mean the grouping's amazing. It's everything that I could have asked for in the rifle now. So it's just a matter of giving it more testing, getting all the the colorations that we're gonna go on with it, like we're gonna push, and that's about it, man.
We talked
awesome.
about
So
those
we're
too.
looking at we're looking at getting it out sooner rather than later.
Cool.
So
Awesome,
it's-
dude.
you know, especially with what's going on.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity that's coming up, so we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of that window and
That's
see what
awesome.
we can do.
So you're actually going to hunt with it on Monday.
Right.
For the
yeah,
helo
we're-
hunts, for the hog
exactly.
hunts.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
cool.
going to be like a pretty good test. It's going to be, we're hopefully going to be shooting quite a bit, and like cycling it pretty fast, kind of. And I'm going to try. So usually we shoot with the 125s. Try with the 110s, 125, even go up to 150s. Make sure that it cycles all the ammo perfectly with
That's awesome.
suppressed. And after that, it's pretty much that's going to be the green light. If everything works well, then we're going to push forward.
That's awesome.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Big good time. So.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, anything in closing?
Nah, man.
Bring on the next one. I don't know who we're having coming up next. We're going to relax for a little bit and mingle, and we'll get it back. So I'm glad you're here, dude. I'm glad you got to come back down.
Yeah, thanks, man.
One day we'll get Jacob up here, too.
I know, dude.
He
Yeah,
gets
we're
to
gonna
have all
have
the
to.
fun, and Jacob's like, I got to stay with the family.
We're going to have to, dude. Yeah, we're going to have to get him up, man, for sure.
Oh, on that note, how did y'all do in the competition?
Oh, dude, so we thought we killed it. This is going to get into the long story, just so you know, because all the honeymoons do. So we thought we had killed it. We actually killed seven dogs and 3 cats. So we thought, I mean, we were just on top of the game,
And
you know,
that's-
all through the night.
That's for the people that listen
Oh,
that
yeah.
don't hunt.
7 coyotes, 3
Yeah,
bobcats.
7 coyotes and 3 bobcats. Yeah.
Not people's dogs. I mean, he does live down on the border, but he was not killing
There
everybody
are
else's
some
dogs
feral
and cats.
cat, there's
Yeah.
a couple feral cat problems out here.
Yeah, and we did good, but I was actually talking to Kaitlyn about it. The competition used to be, or last year, as a matter of fact, this is the first year they allowed thermal, because Pulsar ended up sponsoring their deal. So they allowed thermal. So we're like, okay, now we have a bigger advantage. So we thought we were going to be on top of the game. Well, lo and behold, what won last year as being 32 pounds was about first place. This year was 41 pounds, 42 pounds.
Wow.
What the least amount of payout as far as weight last year was about 28, 29 pounds. This year was 32 pounds. So like that, it just moved up the bar entirely. So what we thought we were just going to kill it, which we did. We had an awesome hunt.
Yeah.
Like it was just nonstop fun, which we had on our live feed, you know what I mean? Or on story. But I don't know what it is, man. The cats just up north are just huge, you know, like, so we did good. Like we were super happy with it, like pleased with all the outcome. We just wish we would have had
So
like, heavier
first
cats.
place got what again?
About 43 grand. Yeah, it's a serious tournament.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And that's actually, so there might be something like that going on down south that we're going to be taking care of here next year.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Well, and then we were talking
Yes.
to Brandon Sisson from AccuFire. They've got the same kind of competition up here for pigs.
For pigs, he just told me
And
that
it's like
yesterday.
12 grand for, I think it's like,
I don't know if it's how many you kill or what.
yeah,
but
I don't know
it's-
what it is. And it's
the same competition thing in
that's
teams.
dude, that's like big money. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
4-man
Oh, yeah.
teams.
Right.
And I will slay some
Yeah,
yokes.
dude, everybody hates pigs, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
pigs, yeah.
Yeah, he says there's a problem, and I was telling Mark, I believe it's just maybe an hour at the most north
Yeah.
of here. It's super
Yeah.
close.
It's really close to us.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Jacob and I might be coming up here because he gave us
we'll
the
be there
invite.
too.
Yeah.
And he actually talked to, well, we won't get into that, but may have talked to a different landowner about doing some stuff out there. So,
Oh,
yeah,
nice,
it'll be
okay.
really cool. But, yeah, I mean, there's a ton of land. And,
Yeah.
I mean, the pigs is such a huge problem up here.
Right,
And
right.
there's some freaking just toads, man.
Oh yeah,
Just
dude.
big old pigs.
And I've noticed here in the last 2 to 3 years that sport or that hobby has really grown. You know, because there's the farmers need it. 2, a lot of the guys that are barely getting into the gun industry, they're enjoying it. Because it gets kind of boring shooting at targets all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So if you actually have like live animals to shoot at, it just
Yeah.
ups the ante.
Yeah.
It is kind of like an expensive hobby / sport to get into, but once you have your entire setup, I mean, man, you're unstoppable. You know,
Yeah.
you get with a good group of guys and you'll have a lot of fun.
It's great.
So,
I mean, dude.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Pig hunting's fun, man.
Yeah,
I mean, there's just
yeah, it's
something
super
about
fun.
and people don't understand how much of a problem it is in the state for like.
Oh, yeah, it is. It really is.
Property. I mean, when we have property, the fence is getting. I mean, everything, crops, all kinds of stuff. It'll destroy a person's property,
Yeah.
and that's a person's livelihood. And so there's literally ranch owners that are like, "Hey, come hunt our property." Well, what are you going to charge? Like, no, just come hunt my property and kill
Yeah.
them.
Right.
And I got some secret recipes.
I was
on some
gonna
stuff
say,
that we
yeah.
bury in the
And Brad
ground.
got some good ass eating too.
Yeah.
I
Brad
got
the cook.
I could got some cooking. I could cook some little bit of pink lemonade, raspberry lemonade, fermentation. Put in the. I'm not gonna give out, but it works. It'll
Dude.
bring them in from
Nice.
far away. But all right, dude. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for
everybody,
having me.
make sure you go check out Tachuntfish. When's the next drop? Can you give
we're-
that or no?
Yeah, we're going to be probably the 2nd to 3rd week of February.
Cool. Is that
Yeah.
just gonna be a Fem game drop?
No, but the females are actually going to have a lot more selection than the men that go around. So that's where it's going to start.
Well.
Yeah.
Guess
so-
who's gonna be spending more money in the family now? Yeah. Well, cool, man. Yeah, we're excited about it. I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be a good year for everybody. So. All right, guys, we'll be right back. I don't know who's coming up, but we'll get you somebody and be able to talk more with them. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, and we are back here. We're here with Qore Performance, which had a really good time hanging out with you this weekend, man. It's been really good meeting y'all and talking about the company. Mark, don't drop your mic, please.
All right,
Yeah. So, Justin, this is your company, obviously, right?
I'm one of the co-founders.
That's awesome, dude. And you're here with your is he another co-founder?
No, my co-founder JD Wilcox is back in Virginia.
Okay, all right, cool. So before we kind of talk about like the background with you and how you got into this and started the company, tell us a little bit about your company and what Qore Performance is.
Yeah, so Qore Performance is an entirely thermoregulation-based company. So all of our technology, our innovations are focused around one thing, which is controlling temperature to deliver a decisive competitive advantage. Our mantra is that we're building a superhuman future, and our vision is that we can enable humans to do more than they ever thought they could in environments where they were previously denied or not advantageous, and we're looking to always give competitive advantages to people where previously none existed.
I just like playing with Legos. Like these guys are way too smart.
Yeah, man, they're building the Master Chief program from Halo.
Yeah,
That's, dude, I was already looking at
exactly,
the
dude.
Well, I don't want to give it away, but have you seen their carrier yet?
Yeah, I went over
Dude.
there and looked. It's freaking unbelievable.
they're doing the right stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of that stems from, and that's what I kind of want to get into, Justin. Like, you got a really cool background. You were law enforcement in the country of, I think California.
Sheriffs, right?
Yeah, country over there.
The Republic.
Yeah, the Republic of California. And so obviously, did you see the need? And this is how did this start? Because you were a cop for 7.5 years.
Yeah, I was with San Diego Sheriffs for 7.5 years.
To then let's go start this huge company. Like, how does that happen?
It's a little serendipity, a little luck, a lot of blood, sweat, tears, all of the above. So I was actually, I worked part-time out there. I was a reserve, which a lot of people don't know. It's a little different out in California than it is in the rest of the country. I was very fortunate because the company that I was running at the time, my previous company, my business partner and I, Matthew, we had designed some software that allowed us to automate most of our business. And so I did a lot of praying. I am a man of faith, and I didn't think that the Lord was giving me all this extra time and these spiritual gifts to just do nothing with them. And so I prayed a lot, like what I should do with them and how I should be a good steward of those spiritual gifts. And I somehow came across the fact that I could go to the police academy while running the company. And I'm like, well, I actually have enough time to do that. I was working like 15 hours a week. And this is in the height of like the 2008 recession, real estate crash. My company was a commercial real estate business. And this sounds all kind of unrelated, but it actually all kind of connects. And short story long, went through the police academy after work every day. And it was a great experience. Got through it. Was able to join a unit at the Emergency Services Division. So in San Diego, that covers all the unincorporated parts of the county. We covered the border, the backcountry. We would rescue lost hikers, search for weed grows, like do some stuff on the border, all kinds of fun stuff. And all my experience in law enforcement has been totally non-traditional and atypical. And even though I was part-time, I basically worked like 40 hours a week because my full-time job was not on autopilot, but it was, it was in a place where I could do that. And so what I learned a lot about in both places is with my real estate business, what we did there is I designed an algorithm that allowed us to predict how to reduce energy expenses in buildings before we acquired them. And I learned that buildings are a lot like the human body. They have electrical systems, hydraulic systems, they have nerve centers, they have brains, et cetera. And it's where I learned about thermoregulation and heat management and all kinds of strange stuff that oddly led to me being able to help start Qore Performance with JD. And so I was on a manhunt out in East County, a town called Pine Valley, July 2011, 100 degrees, 4,000 feet above sea level. We were looking for a recently separated Marine Scout sniper, better shape, better armed, from the area. And I just got thinking like, man, there's got to be a better way for us to do this. Like, our kit was weighing us down. I had some other people from some other agencies who were maybe not so up to the task. And I was just thinking, like, how could we create some tools that would help us level the playing field? So much of our weight was non-negotiable. The radios were not negotiable. The rifles were not negotiable. Helmets, armor, all that stuff, like, we're stuck with it, right? Yeah. And we don't really have a choice but to carry it. Same thing with the water. And then that led to me remembering the study that I read about at Stanford University by these two professors, Dennis Grahn and Craig Heller. And they had discovered through a DARPA grant that if you applied about the wattage of cooling that ice plates provide, you could beat the performance-enhancing effects of anabolic steroids if you did it during and after workouts. And they invented this device that did it, but it was very crude. You couldn't take it with you. You had to plug it into things, and it was just cumbersome and not usable. So I just remember thinking, like, man, I would love 5%, 1% of the benefit of that thing if I could get 100% improvement in utility. And so that led us to combining what I had just learned at TCCC, which was, how to control hypothermia and heat stroke at the pulse points. And we built some base layers that allowed you to do that. Put it up on Kickstarter in December of 15, and Army found us. And TRADOC contractors reached out to us and said, hey, we love what you guys are doing, but we need more power. We need 140 watts. You guys are delivering 15. Can you do that? Fast forward there, we realized every soldier's issued a 100-ounce bladder. Everybody was already freezing water bottles overseas at their fobs or the bases or whatever, and jamming those frozen bottles of water in their plate carriers in their pants pockets. And I realized that water is a battery, guys were already freezing it, which is charging the battery, and they were already carrying it, which got us around the Army's request to not add any weight to the kit. We just had to reshape the water bottle, and that's how IcePlate was born, and that was August of 2016, and now we're here.
Dude.
So much there that
Dude,
needs to be like a 2-hour episode in and of itself.
Man. But think of, like, don't get me wrong. Essentially, you've taken a plate carrier and just turned it into a water bottle that fits into, or excuse me, a plate and turned it into a water bottle.
Yeah, I mean, we like to say that IcePlate is the world's first human supercharger.
Yeah.
And it really is, because it is able to extract so much heat from the body in such a compact package that you can drink, that it's just unbeatable. And since 2017, on both our military and commercial sides, we've had almost 2 million hours in the field without a single minute lost to a heat injury. We have a perfect operational safety record.
Wow. So for the people that don't know, like, and there's so much more to this company. Like, if you've been to a Chick-fil-A, boom, here in Texas, like
Boeing.
several, yeah, Boeing. There's all kinds of stuff that this company's involved in, which we could go into. But talking about this, like, so people know, this is huge, especially for like our assignments and everything. I mean, it's huge in every aspect, right? I'm thinking of like a barricaded person, right?
Yeah.
Being out in the heat during the summer and just needing to cool off and everything like that. The question I know some people are going to be like ballistic protection. Like, how does this protect you ballistically?
Yeah, so we're not in the ballistic business, right? So what we found very early on, because we knew that was going to be a question, we tested IcePlate behind level 2 soft armor, intentionally picking the weakest of approved NIJ approved armors, and we found very interestingly that IcePlate in every form, empty, liquid water, frozen ice, eliminates backface deformation to practically 0 levels. So any officer, wearer, military user, doesn't matter. If you're wearing armor and you're wearing IcePlate underneath it, you are going to be safer. And it's really simple. It's basically a water/airbag behind your body armor.
So people understand, like, this is like almost like an ICW in conjunction with, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're wearing with your protection, because one of the questions I heard somebody ask him was like, was that my ballistic protection? And I'm like, no, it's not ballistic protection, right? But that's interesting, the fact with the backface deformation, you know, which is a lot of times with higher power, we get so many other injuries, you know, from the backface deformation. It's just as dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, all of us have had the training on armor and basic ballistics. You know, we know about backface deformation. We've had basic training on trauma and TCCC, et cetera. But for those people out there that have not had that, it's not intuitive to them the way that it is to us.
Right.
You know, but it's a huge deal. People don't realize that just because it stops the bullet doesn't mean your problems have ended.
Yeah.
You know, so there's other things too that we do have a level 4 IcePlate, a fully armored, totally integrated armored IcePlate. We just have not been able to get the manufacturing techniques and the costs down to where it's palatable. But we do have a fully integrated capability.
So let me ask you a question, man. You bring up faith. You bring up, you know, you're talking about a lot of this. How much is that playing into a factor of this company?
I mean, huge for me. You know, and I won't speak for my business partners. I'll just speak for myself.
Yeah.
You know, but I think we're a great example of our team. How you know, we have fundamentally similar foundational values, you know, and maybe some different perspectives on faith. And I think we do a pretty decent job. We don't screw up every day.
Yeah. You do better than me, my friend.
We try. We make more mistakes, I think, than we even realize. But, you know, it's huge for me. I pray about a lot of almost every big decision. And I can't say I do it as much as I should. I'm not as faithful as I would like to be, but, you know, I am a fallen man. I do my best. And I rely heavily on, I think, the greatest blessing that the Lord's ever given me, my wife, Tracy. And she has guided me through all kinds of tumultuous times. And I think definitely helped our company in more ways than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, I know that, as mine sits behind the cameras doing all this, you know. It's interesting, man, to see, you know, we always talk about this, like, we all walk our walks so differently, right? Like, I'm never going to be, look, I could sit here with, you know, somebody that has a totally different belief. I don't care, right? Like, who am I to judge? Because I mean, you can judge me. Like, I'm not going to judge you. Like, we're fallen, right? It's interesting to see people that, you know, look at having such a massive company, and I like the way that you word it in the fact that, I'm going to speak for myself, but yet no matter what you do and you speak for yourself, there's always like commonalities amongst that, even though we're the uncommon line, right? You attract like-minded people, right? And it's interesting to see success drive based on that thought process, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that JD and I, in particular, have a great way of working together and working through these things. I will say that I think it comes from a place of deep mutual respect. JD delivers a whole other side to the business that I think a lot of our customers feel but don't necessarily see, if that makes any sense. I mean, our all of our back ends, our finances, our operations, the trains run on time because of everything that he does and his team does on the back end, and it simply wouldn't be possible, And if you ask him similar questions, he'll tell you what he likes to do is focus on those details to help me bring my visions to life for the company. And JD's one of the greatest blessings I've ever had in my life. I'm so grateful that the Lord put us in our paths.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's really, it's an awesome company, man. And hearing what y'all stand for, and hearing those things is really important nowadays. And whether or not somebody may agree with it, right? Like just the execution of is my point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like who cares? Like somebody's got their own faith that they're living, and they're not judging others based on that, and focusing on you in that moment to execute your plan as a company.
I mean, I'm in no position to judge anybody.
Exactly, right? But dude, how many people do judge?
Oh my gosh.
And then their companies are failing because of that. And
I mean, we get judged as a company every day. I mean, we get plenty of haters.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like so many people focus so much on that judgment. And I don't know if what I'm trying to say makes sense, but so many people focus on that judgment, like the CEO judging others versus the CEO going, I'm a fallen person, right? Here's my beliefs. I'm going to have belief in that. And I'm going to focus on this, and all these other things will hopefully fall in place. Sometimes they fail, right?
Yeah.
But not worrying about all of that is huge, especially nowadays.
Absolutely. I mean, I just give it up.
Yeah.
I can't worry about that.
And that's my point. Like you can't. Like you just got to give it up.
Yeah.
Mark, anything?
Nah, man. The Spirit always likes to show up.
True.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And sometimes not even when you're looking for it, brother. So let me ask you this. So we talk about the body armor and everything. Obviously for us in law enforcement is so huge, but y'all do so much other stuff. Kind of give our listeners a little bit so they know more. Like, hey, you may recognize this in these other places.
Yeah, we like to say. I mean, we do one thing, but we do it for any human who sweats. And now we do it for electronics. So yeah, we do stick to thermoregulation in our mill and LE space. Obviously, that one is very near and dear to our hearts. It's the root of the company, and it's what drives all of us. We want to do our part to keep our brothers and sisters in uniform across the spectrum safe, so that they can come home. And it's huge for us, and I can't overstate that enough. And we've just been very fortunate and blessed to be given an opportunity to use those same learnings and those same technologies. On the safety side, we have a whole other half of our business that's occupational safety. And yeah, we do a number of very famous fast food companies.
I guess I should have named the one, but I mean, it's the Lord's Chicken, so what can I do?
Well, the only one under an NDA here is me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, true. So, yeah.
What you guys see in the world, I have no control over.
Exactly.
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty, yeah. Yeah, dude, it's amazing. And then you start connecting the companies that y'all are involved with and everything, and it's huge. And, dude, like, that is such a big factor, especially in high heat areas like we're at,
Yeah.
And people overlook how taxing that is. Just if you own a company, right? Like, I look at, like, construction or something like that. Having a resource like this is huge.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And it is unstoppable as far as what you can reap from that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Because you're battling the elements, man. And, like, what better way to equip you than the elements of itself? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we have no control over our environment.
No,
and
you can only adapt to it.
You can only adapt to it. I think that actually there is a faith component in there. I would just say, me personally, I don't ever think that I have control over most things in my life, and the environment, Mother Nature, is just one of many.
Yeah, exactly.
So all we can do is look for ways. Sun Tzu says, I think, something about
Adapt to your environment that you come.
And
you have high ground, take the high ground.
Opportunity is found in chaos. So we look at things like I think that for 30 or 40 years, maybe longer, maybe 100 years, maybe the history of warfare, people have looked at water as only being able to do one thing. It could only hydrate you. And I think one of the areas where JD and I's chemistry really shows and manifests in the company is that we've never been those guys that look at problems the same way other people do. And in school, that was a huge problem for us because our teachers just thought we were a total, pain in the butt. And it turns out that we have this thing called the free market where asymmetric thinkers are allowed to test their might.
Exactly.
And sometimes they win and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But you're at least allowed to test it, unlike in schools where you have to just do what you're told. That's I think that's been one of the most fun things about being an entrepreneur is that JD and I get to test our hypotheses and our ideas. And sometimes they're stupid, and sometimes they fall flat on their face and they die in our conference room.
Yeah.
And it never goes any farther than that. Or sometimes they die on a piece of paper, they never make it to the conference room.
But I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have companies and people and individuals doing that, then where would we be as a country?
Yeah.
And
failure is a mandatory part of the
yeah.
journey.
And that's what's worrisome about some of the stuff we're seeing within the squelching of, First Amendment and stuff like this, is you start to cause people to get scared of just taking that risk. Anything,
yeah.
Right? And so what are we squelching that as a country that could have been something incredible?
I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? We are not a company, like we have a few things that I think show, in our job, we have a lot of open job positions. We're trying to actively recruit, good, hardworking, honest Americans every day. But a lot of people think like, oh, JD, he's an engineering major from Stanford, or Doug majored in mathematics, or whatever, and they think that you have to have these fancy degrees to work for us because we're very engineering and science heavy, and nothing could be farther from the truth. We don't think modern schools are valuable at all, and
Amen, brother.
And we would know. We went to fancy schools, but that is not what helped us build the company. What helped us build the company was look at problems differently. Look at, hey, everybody else is just carrying water, but can we do something else to the water to make it serve more than one function, more than one purpose, do more than one thing? And then that transpires through our mill and LE stuff, and then all over to our occupational safety business, and then to our iPads and our consumer electronics business. But that didn't come from a place because we had the opportunity to express what we thought, even if we were wrong.
Right.
And we had the opportunity to fail frequently, even if we were wrong, and we were a lot, But when you have things like, when you have people trying to control thought, or you have things that are acceptable and things that are not, or you have cultures that award, participation trophy culture. Qore Performance does not live in a world where we're going to get a trophy for participating. We either do great by our customers, we deliver value that surpasses their expectations, or we die. It's really simple.
Yeah. And we were talking about it this morning, and we've talked about this. Like you talk about the schools and what's so important nowadays, putting kids in boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this kid learns differently than that kid. Like, well, we've got to put in the box they've got. Well, we got to put you back over here. Well,
right.
What are we stopping by doing that?
Oh, I mean, that's the worst. We don't even know what we're losing.
Yeah, exactly.
By doing that.
Exactly. And I feel like now we're doing that so we're starting that in our schools at such a young age. That's something we're constantly doing, because if you don't learn this way, or if you're this type, if this is it, you're in this specific box, this is where you got to live, then we're stopping the behavior, and that person fails because we're not allowing them to fail outside the box, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But now we're starting to do this on a more macro level, rather than a micro level just in school.
Yeah.
When we start seeing free speech and and organizations being censored. I mean, we're at this event now, and you've got people that are trying to change the gun industry, right? And live on YouTube, providing knowledge to new gun owners so it's safer, showing that these other organizations can work together, and YouTube shuts it down, right? Because there's guns in the photo. Like, what are we stopping in that moment? Because now we're putting those people in a box.
Yeah, I mean, right there, we're cutting off education.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's a learning opportunity that some people have now decided to deny to others. Arbitrarily, I might add. Could have let them vote on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I'm offended by this. Everybody vote. Mark, your thoughts on that?
Man, I think it just kind of boils down to is you need to go seek it yourself. You know, it's really what it is. It comes down to a lot of stuff that we talk about. It's like, hey, there's a lot of factors that are against me, and then you have to say, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna go find them on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go test it on my own, and I'm gonna go find a place where I can go do the things that I want to do, fail the way that I want to fail, succeed the way that I want to succeed, and you're not gonna stop me. Which should just be the overall American spirit in and of self. The ideal to be like, no.
And you got to be comfortable that you probably are going to fail. Not might. You're probably going to fail.
Exactly.
How many times did y'all fail in the beginning of this?
Oh my God, I lost count a long time.
Exactly, right? And it's those failures that now have outcomed to where we are now, sitting and you talking about this product, right? And there's going to be more failures for y'all. There's going to be more failures for us. Yeah. But like the problem is, like, I mean, the solution is let us fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
Like let us fail at times, right? But if we stop, unless it's a bad, unethical, illegal, or immoral behavior, but if we stop this behavior, right, and we don't allow people to fail, well, then they're never going to try it and figure out why they failed to then come up with the solution.
No, I mean, we joke in the office all the time. We learn nothing from success.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
But we learn a lot from failing.
Yeah.
It's just, I think there's a huge component of mental fortitude and toughness. You have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable places, and uncomfortable places, that is failure.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Ooh, you got me goosebumps. But people don't want to live being uncomfortable.
No.
And that's the thing. No. It's like if you're not uncomfortable, you're not learning, right? So you have to be able to operate in that uncomfortable situation in order for you to learn and grow. And then there'll be times where you get I think you just get little snapback pictures. You're like, oh, shit, like I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Like I can do this. I can operate through this, or I can figure my way through this situation. But also surrounding yourself with individuals who are like-minded, right? Who are tried and tested to help you through those processes as well, which is what we're trying to do here.
And that goes. I mean, look, we talked about. I know you and I had the conversation yesterday when we first met. Like surrounding ourselves with just people involved in the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. That like we're not just going to surround ourselves with anybody, right?
Right.
I could have probably already made a lot more money by allowing just Joe Schmo.
Sure.
That is, a criminal or whatever.
You could sell spots.
Yeah. But like, what about that is uncommon? First off, and how am I surrounding myself with greatness to be able to become the person I want to be each and every day?
I mean, if you just look at the conversation we're having right now, it's so true to the title of your show. Yeah. Right? The conversation we're having right now is about a lot of, unfortunately, uncommon things, right? That were not so uncommon not too long ago.
Yeah.
But now we're talking about them like exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
So on that note, Mark, ask him the question.
So on that note, in today's world of commonness and of what we're seeing today, what does uncommon mean to you?
Uncommon for us means that we will stand unabashedly, unapologetically, and unyieldingly for what we believe in and what we know to be right. And JD and I have always had a very clear vision for what that is. For me personally, it's obviously anchored in my faith. I have a very clear picture and a clear understanding of right and wrong. And, JD and I have always believed that the company stands for, we have a saying, this company stands for the law. And, give unto Caesar what is due to Caesar. And so if it's the law, that's what we're going to do. And, for us, that means that we have a mission to help all of our brothers and sisters in uniform. And then every working American that's trying to earn an honest living, we're going to try to help them keep them safer, get more done, and be more productive because, whatever differences we may have as a people, we, as a country, we have to face the reality. We are facing the reality that we have to compete against other countries. And so we can either help each other be better and help put our country in a position to be successful or not.
Or we can compete against each other, which a lot of people are doing nowadays.
Right.
I mean, we're competing against the other Americans when it's like, dude, look, okay, you may believe what you believe, but we're American at the end of it.
Yeah.
So let's just do this.
And we got a lot of people trying to take our lunch.
Yeah.
Because it's a nice lunch, by the way.
It is.
It's a really nice lunch.
Yeah.
So uncommon for us, we're going to try to help defend that vision and that dream that the Founding Fathers started, 200-something years ago. And that's what we'll do.
I just wish you were doing it here in Texas, my friend.
Yeah. Believe me, so do we.
Dang, dude. I can't, but I just think, the wise surround themselves with other wise men, and iron sharpens iron, like another friend sharpens another. So
it's true.
I love it.
And at times I'm not that wise, so it's great to surround myself with wise people to learn that, you know?
Hey, welcome to the club, man.
As he's used like so many big words, and I'm like, okay, how do I spell that word? No, man. So where can people find
My business partner went to Stanford. I have an
Yeah.
unfair advantage.
Yeah. We're not even going to talk about my degree. But anyways, so where can people find more information about your company, get involved, find your products? If we've got a business owner that's listening that's interested, where can they reach out to you at?
Yeah, QorePerformance.com is our website. Everything runs through there. You want to sign up for our email list. We're going to be launching our all-new app very soon, the next couple months, called Ice Age. Ice Age will be the digital hub for everything Qore Performance. And so that's a great way to connect with us. For a little while longer, I guess you can connect with us on Instagram at Qore Performance. But yeah, one thing I do want to say is that one of the things we always say, we want to create the customer experience we want for ourselves, and I say that because we try to reply to every single customer communication that comes in, every email, every DM. We try to pick up every phone call. We don't have an AI robo answering thing; doesn't exist. We don't have AI on our live chat. So if you're listening to this and you want to reach out to us, you will hear from us.
Awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Mark, anything in closing?
Oh, man, that was awesome.
We got to let him get back to his booth. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. All right, guys, and we are back here at Texas Gun Experience here in Grapevine, Texas for Total Recon 2021. And we're here with Tom from USCCA. First off, if you own a gun, you need to have them.
Yeah.
Like, there's no questions asked about it, which we're going to get into it because a lot of people don't realize who y'all are and what y'all are about.
Absolutely.
So real quick, give us a little bit of breakdown about what USCCA is and why it's so important to have y'all at an event like this.
Sure. So I work for Delta Defense, and Delta Defense is the servicing arm of the United States Concealed Carry Association. So what we do is we specialize in making sure that gun owners are responsibly armed, they're educated, they're trained, and ultimately, if they do get into a situation, we provide a self-defense liability insurance product to be able to help them after they survive the fight, to also survive the legal fight and aftermath, what happens from there on.
So let me ask you a question because I've been curious about this, kind of learning about y'all over the past year and everything because I didn't really have social media before.
Sure.
Just until we started doing this, and so learning a lot about it.
It's a big jump.
What's interesting to me is there's a lot of cops that have it.
Yes.
And so why is that? Because a lot of cops believe, because we're both in law enforcement, so a lot of cops believe, I got the badge, I've got my attorney, representing me. Why is it important even for law enforcement to have this as protection?
Well, as we know, law enforcement, carries a gun a lot, but a lot of times they don't spend a lot of time training. So as law enforcement officers, you're maybe getting to the range once or twice a year. But what we do on the education and training side is we provide additional tips, tricks, drills, and that kind of stuff to make sure that they understand that they probably should be doing this more. And then ultimately, on a self-defense incident side, they have, when they're on duty, they usually have insurance through the FOP and through the city and state and that kind of thing. But then from the civil side, or from the off-duty side, all that goes away. So what we do is we provide the coverage and the education and training on the off-duty portion of that if something was to happen at their home as a civilian.
So we were talking to him a little bit before we got the story because I kind of try to ask a few questions before we start. So how many years were you in the Marine Corps?
Just under 5 years.
And then the Army, you said?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. And then you were in technology.
For 20 years, yeah.
And then to the gun industry.
To the gun industry, yeah.
And what did you do in technology?
So worked with companies like Microsoft and Oracle, selling enterprise content management solutions. So you hear about Azure and Amazon Web Services and all the things that are happening on the technology side. My job was working with a company to help provide all the content and data that would drive their business to do more storage and things like that. So pretty cool, but not like this.
Yeah. So I take it. So in your position with USCCA is what again?
National Director of Sales.
So you get to travel a lot and do a lot of these events?
I travel, do all these events. I got a sales team of about 115 outside sales reps around the country that are going to classes and educating people on who we are and what we do. But then we get to do events and partnerships with great ranges like this to be able to, just again, continue to spread the word and make sure people understand that just because you own a gun doesn't mean that you're proficient in it. You got to get out there and you got to train.
Just having this conversation on the radio a second ago. It's like,
yeah, you got to continue to train, and then ultimately, people think your homeowner's insurance will cover a situation like that. It doesn't. So there's other things out there that will help you in that instance.
I didn't realize how big they were, Mark. They're huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big organization.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that I didn't know about it up until about a year ago. And, it's like, where has this been my whole entire life?
Yeah.
Sure.
But, dude, it's interesting. So you make the jump from technology to this company. How does that happen? You go from technology to the gun industry.
So funny story, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Basically, I had a huge deal in December of 2018. And if you know anything about sales, companies don't want to pay big commission checks. So they said we could either eliminate your position and put you in another position so we don't have to pay you, or you can go find another job. And I was like, so right away I said, give me 2 weeks to think about it. I went online, and actually Delta Defense is right in my neighborhood. I know a lot of the executives. I know a lot of employees. It was probably about a 200-person company when I started looking. I emailed the director of sales, or the chief sales officer, and said, can you give me an audience? And he was like, absolutely. So I literally, that was a Wednesday. I had an interview on a Thursday. I interviewed with the executives on Friday. I had an offer on Monday.
Wow.
So it was perfect, perfect
That's
timing.
Awesome.
So.
And so, obviously, SHOT Show gets canceled. I assume y'all were going to be at a SHOT Show, right?
We were going to go big at SHOT Show,
That was a big footprint. So some of these events have been popping up across the country, I assume, right,
Yes.
within the gun industry. What do you see, because I'm curious, somebody that's within the industry on a bigger scale like you, do you feel like this is going to be replacing some of SHOT Show events like this, and people are going to start doing this more often than spending the money in SHOT Show?
It's a good question. Yes and no. I mean, we have a great relationship with the NSSF. They're looking to continue to go big at SHOT Show. That's their biggest money draw for that organization, and I think it's important for them. I could see more and more regional type events popping up, just depending on it's not necessarily the restrictions. I think it's the comfort of the people. Some people don't want to be in a place where there's 70,000 people, and Lord knows where they were, that kind of stuff. So I can see more of these events popping up, and I think it's great that people are doing it now. So when I heard the Texas Gun Experience was doing this event, I'm like, we're all in.
So are y'all tied in here? Like, have y'all been out here before? Did you know about this place beforehand?
So we knew about them, and they were working with one of our competitors, and we actually took an executive road trip we flew into Nashville, hit ranges there, San Antonio, Austin, and then came up to Dallas. This is one of the ranges that we came to talk about who we were and what we did, and things went well. And then we had a couple of their top instructors come up to West Bend, and we trained them on all of our curriculum that we have. And then they came out and said, guys, let's do it. You guys are doing above and beyond what we're currently doing with some of the others, and we think this is going to be a great fit. So I think we signed the papers earlier this month, and this is the first event, and we're going to do another event with them in March.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That is awesome. No, I think I know.
He's just speechless.
Yeah. I love it.
Speechless. No, but that is something that I think we don't talk about often. It's like, hey, yeah, like you can get into the gun battle, right? But what happens afterwards? You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing. If you were to get in an officer-involved shooting, I think like yeah, you got involved with it. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff afterwards. It's like just as stressful stuff. So knowing
it's not more stressful.
Yeah,
nowadays.
Yeah. Because like you train for that event, and like it's the off-duty stuff or the offhand stuff, the legal aspect stuff that's super stressful. Because now you got a whole bunch of people Monday morning quarterbacking you. But having a company out there that's going to help you and provide that ease, which is like an even bigger monster behind the initial one, like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Like that is the kind of stuff that I think we want to broadcast out there about being a responsible gun owner, about being responsible about training and understanding like it's not just like being cool and holding a sweet gun. It's a responsibility. You're going to be held to a different standard. You should be proficient in that, and then not only that, you should be held, covered for liability and all this other stuff that comes after it that nobody even thinks about.
Right.
So and being able to push that information out there to people
on such a big scale.
On that, but also that like think about like just the ease. We're like it's like car insurance. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I get an accident. Like, okay, well I pay all this money for this car insurance. Like I know I'm going to be able to get this fixed. So I think there's an ease or like a relief aspect to it that a lot of people don't see or take advantage of. So
that's why we push the education and training side of it, because we never want you to use the insurance portion of it. We hope that God forbid you're ever in that type of a situation.
It's crazy that a company, right? Like so much of that y'all's business is built around that,
Yep.
right? But you don't want people to use it.
No,
you
no.
know,
Yeah.
which is so counterintuitive, you know.
Right.
But it's so important as a gun
It
owner.
is, man.
and
It's
especially
so
with all these
important.
new gun owners. And obviously, y'all have seen an influx, right?
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah.
you've seen an uptick in this. I'm curious, Tom, like to see or hear just shortly. Obviously, we've got a different administration. I'm not trying to get all political or anything on here, but obviously, the talk beforehand is that the environment's going to change.
Right.
Political environment's going to change. And so, what are what are companies like USCCA doing to combat us not losing our right
Sure.
to the Second Amendment?
Right, so we're actually working quite a bit. We work more of the local side of it, so we're working with local politicians and things like that to help some of the laws and the things that are out there. We're trying to get, we're putting a huge backing into the national reciprocity law that's being brought to Congress, I think this week or next week. We're putting a big push on that. We don't do the lobbying like an NRA, because really at the end of the day, I mean, what the USCCA is about is regardless of where you're from, who you love, what you do, where you came from, what political side of the spectrum you're on, if you feel the need to possess a firearm to protect you, your family, and your loved ones, we want to educate, train, and protect you as well. So we really don't try to get into the right side, left side, that type of stuff. We're trying to really just say, hey, you know what, regardless of where you lean, let's make sure you're responsibly armed American.
And I look at it like this way. There's a lot of, and I'm not going to talk about what, companies that are fighting for rights on the Hill or whatever are doing, NRAs. I'm not going to talk about any of that. But like, what's interesting is the fact that companies like yourself that just want to base in facts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, just stick with the facts, right? Like, here's the fact. We've got a law that's being proposed. We don't like it. What can we do on that level there instead of a macro level and more micro level for the city, right? Or the state. To me, the more fights we can do on the smaller, battles, I think is going to win us the bigger ones,
Yeah.
the bigger war, And so I applaud y'all for taking that action, because that as a gun owner, right, aside from being law enforcement, like a lot of times we don't know what to do to help fight the cause, right, so to speak. And so that's really cool. And I think we're starting to see like gun policy, right?
Yeah.
Gun policy is one of them. They're doing a lot of fights on the lower levels, which is huge. All right, I want to get back to something real quick because we kind of segued in. I could go ask a million questions on that, but your thoughts of Texas gun experience, man?
This place is amazing, man. Like, when we walked in here, we were like, wow. I mean, it's huge, it's clean, it's. I mean, the people here are probably the nicest people I've ever seen in a range. Just walking around here as a vendor, everybody's asking me, can I help you? Do you need anything? That kind of stuff. Is there, anything else we can do for you? This place is amazing. We're proud to partner with them. We're excited about it, and I think that's one of the reasons why we picked to do that event in March with them. That's coming up. So
what event is that? Can you talk about it or not yet?
Yeah. So it's actually it's in the early stages. We actually just met with them a couple weeks ago. But basically, we're going to do the exact same thing we're doing here. Only it's going to be more geared towards carry conceal. So it's reaching out to gun owners, but also brand new gun owners, and say, hey, you know what? Over the last 6 months, we've had how many millions of people buying guns for the first time?
Yeah.
You bought a gun, get to a range and learn something.
Yeah.
Learn how to hold it, carry it, clean it, lock it up at home, talk to your kids about it, keep it safeguarded, things like that. So that's really, it's going to be the Protector Showcase. I don't know if that's going to be the final word on the name.
That's
but
a good name right there, Protector Showcase.
But the Protector Showcase, we're going to have vendors, we're going to have food, entertainment. Tim Schmidt, our founder and CEO, is going to be here doing.
I feel like we need to come back for that and hang out.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
We could definitely have you come out and hang out. But we're trying to do it big and do it with an organization like this that has the capacity to hold this type of this many people and do it the right way. So we're excited.
We talked about with TG Brian when we were first coming on. One of the first guests today during the show is what's really cool about this place, man, is we've got so many new gun owners within the industry. And I remember even growing up around guns and military and law enforcement within the family, like going to the gun shop with the crusty old man, that was kind of scary to talk to, didn't want to talk to the young guy, was intimidating, right? But you come into a shop like this, and you walk in, you think it's intimidating. You see how they've broken this down and pairing up with organizations like yourself, providing events like this that then take it to a more fun level, right?
Yep.
Of like ridding the person of the fear or the anxiety of purchasing that gun, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, you're then providing them knowledge, which, let's face it, right now, we need more knowledge than anything within the gun industry, right?
Yep.
That's really, really cool.
So could I touch on that real quick?
Yeah.
So since you brought that up, so that's how the USCCA was actually started. So Tim Schmidt, our founder, was engineer by trade, just had a son 22 years ago, and basically he's looking at his son and saying, now I got to be this baby's protector. How do I do this? So he's not a small guy. He's probably 6'5", 6'6", and probably about 220, 230. So he's decent sized guy. So he goes to a gun range and he's like, can I take a look at that gun right there? And the guy looks at him and goes, why does a guy like you need a gun like that? He was like, I don't know. He's like, trying to learn something here.
Yeah.
So he's, so of course being an engineer, he's like, so he started diving into it, and everywhere he looked, there was nothing that actually talked about how to buy a gun, carry a gun, store a gun, protect his family, things like that. So he actually built out the Carry Conceal magazine in 2003 to do exactly that. And then from there, what it did was in 2011 and 12 is where the association came into play, where he had the benefits, the education, the training, and ultimately the self-defense liability insurance. So
that's really cool. That's really, really cool. So let me ask you this. So for the person that's just purchased a gun and they just listened to this and they want to know how they can protect themselves, how can they get in? First off, how can people get involved with USCCA? How does a new gun owner obtain the insurance and learn more about your company and what you'll have to offer?
Sure. So you can actually go to uscarryconceal.com and everything's there. You can research it. You can take a look at our reciprocity maps, our apps, and then look at the membership levels and all the benefits and things that we provide and the partnerships we have with the ranges, classes, instructors. Everything's there. So you don't have to be a member to get all that information because we want everybody to get it. But if you want to become a part of the association, you can certainly sign up at the website.
That's awesome. Mark, you got anything?
No, man, I definitely think this is definitely a super, super important topic. You guys are a super, super important company that I sometimes feel will get overlooked. But like it's just as important. It's like, hey, if you're gonna purchase a firearm,
if not more important.
Yeah, if you're gonna purchase a firearm, you need to do training. If you need to do training, you need to make sure you have the liability that goes with it. It's like it's not just one or the other. Like these are all three things that come in a package. And I think that message just doesn't get pushed out enough. Yep. And so being able to push out that message as well is super important.
And even for current law enforcement. I mean, we have a lot of law enforcement listeners on the show.
I'm going to sign up.
How important it is to have. I mean, if anything, it's just having like 2 is 1, 1 is none. You know, so having additional. I mean, let's face it. The political environment. Yeah, we're in Texas. We got it pretty good here. But if you're in, cross country, and you may not have the same backing you have in your agency, so who else do you have?
Yeah.
Your family, your house that you're going to put up a collateral. I mean, what are you going to do to help protect yourself if you do get in that gun battle and something happens with your agency where you're not backed or whatever? Yeah. More kudos to y'all. We're really looking forward to learning. Looking forward to having y'all back out here because we're going to come to the event and hang out and
absolutely.
That'd be really cool. So
we'd love to have you.
Cool. All right, guys. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much. And what's going on, guys? We are back. Hold on one second. Slow clap.
Quack. Quack. Quack.
Guess who's back on the show? Maddie fucking Tran.
Hi. It's me.
All right, it's really not about you, man. What we're really cool about having
oh, bro. It's cool. It's cool.
No, so let's bring in the real person here.
For real.
LAS,
legit.
we're here with Jeff Kwan, the owner of LAS Concealment. Awesome. We've got some of your holsters here. I know we've been kind of trying to connect. Y'all came into town for the event. Jeff, before we get into like what your thoughts on the whole event this weekend, I'm going to ask the same thing, Matt, to you is tell us a little bit about your holster company and how this differs from other companies.
Okay, so what we really specialize in is controlling every aspect of the holster, and that's coming from 3D CAD files all the way to machining our own proprietary molds. And 90% of the industry really uses like off-the-shelf molds, which is essentially like you could go and buy those and put it in between a piece of Kydex and call it a holster. Again, 90% of the industry does it that way. We don't do it that way. We take major manufacturing techniques, which is part of lean manufacturing, and we implement that into a smaller scale. And then we have control over the consistency 1 through 1,000, and that's something that really prides me on. Because I can guarantee a product. As soon as our product leaves our doors, we can guarantee that product is going to be consistent 1 through 1,000.
That's the one I want right there.
What
Don't
is-
judge me.
Rock.
Don't hate me.
Oh,
I want that one.
Dude,
Rock,
what
paper,
is
scissors.
this, dude?
LAS Concealment Tachuntfish collab. Win that right there.
No.
That'd be lit.
That would be lit, dude.
I'm down.
That
So
would be lit.
We
So,
love exclusive stuff, dude. Like
Dude.
brands
Cool.
exclusive. We got-
10% commission,
Yeah.
please, on that deal. Since we just
Jesus.
Hey, we can do
Yeah.
commission, bro. Like it's
Oh
not
my
even.
God.
You know what I mean? Like it's not even anything.
No, so you bring up something that's a little bit, and I didn't know that till recently, till the last time
Yeah.
we met and started doing some research, because I was telling you kind of going through some holster fitting issues on, because I carry conceal now even every day in my work.
Yep.
You know, going in and out between concealed and a belt in my current assignment.
Yep.
So comfort was huge. Something I really loved were the clips.
Yeah,
and
they
then
are nice.
The other aspect of y'all's holster that I really noticed was the claw. Compared to other companies, I don't even know how to describe it, but it seemed closer, so I got a tighter fit, and I stayed more upright.
And that's essentially what the capabilities of having CAD is really we can actually measure out literally everything to a thousandth, even to a further than that. But, you know, having
Whatever
the
that measurement is.
Yeah, whatever that is. It's usually 0, I mean, honestly. But that's the capabilities of CAD, is allowing us to design stuff that actually has a functional purpose design in what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's
They
good.
got like a
That's it.
padding on the back of it.
Yeah, so we're pretty nerdy about it.
I want to know. Okay, so Modern Samurai Project. When I took his course, Scott Jelinski, he had
Great
that on
instructor.
holster. So what is
Yeah.
he had that? What is the purpose of that?
All right, so concealment
this
is
is-
all about angles, and it's really about controlling angles so that you don't print. All right? If we can control the angles, then your last angle is going to be your clothing, and that's going to hide the angles that your your concealment holster makes. The wedge actually tilts the holster, the top portion, above the belt line into your body. The wing is now tucking essentially the grip and mag portion of it into your hip. And now you're covering 2 aspects of concealment rather than just one. So the wedge may not work for everyone, and especially with dudes with bigger stomachs, we actually recommend that you get a yoga block. Cut your own. All right.
Y'all are
All
assholes.
right. Hey, I'm just being upfront, trying to help you guys. You know, hey, we can't all have
Hey, bro, you
dad
got to
bods,
bring
bro.
ass to kick ass.
Dude,
True,
dad bods,
true,
bro. I'm not
true.
there yet. Sorry. But yeah.
That dump truck.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt, you run the holster. Your thoughts?
So here, well, I do run the concealment holster, but a little bit background about me and Jeff is Jeff and I met a while ago when I first actually jumped on with Triarc, and from there things kind of just skyrocketed. So
Because we're both Asian. We
it's
connected
no,
pretty quickly.
precisely
To a point we were just like,
honestly-
dude, you're the only other Asian I've ever
honestly,
seen at
that's
a
legit
gun
how
event, bro.
That's legit how
This
it
is
worked
hilarious
out.
because as soon as this happened, 3 Asians walk in and they're just staring at y'all.
Dude,
You're like, whoa, dude,
yeah.
there's another one.
Yeah, but anyways, so like I said, it was legit like that. He walked in the shop, I was in the shop, and we were like, there's another fucking Asian dude. Hey, what's up? We kicked it off, dude. From there, like you know, so right now, my main thing with them, with Jeff, is I run their mag carriers for competition and an outside the waistband holster, and which I love. Like I don't want to change anything about it. We have obviously some things to work out as far as Kingsdale because it's not like something that's mass produced, but like I said, I run that stuff in competition, and I do run it on a duty belt setup, the Kydex mag carrier. So that's where I mostly come into play when it comes to these holsters. I do carry just like your regular light bearing Glock 17 holster.
Just say a 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And here, you want to see it?
Yeah.
Cool. But I love them, man. Like I'll take them outside the waistband, and if I want to, I throw it in my Vertex bag when I go to the gym, and it stays on lock. Because you know some holsters, like the friction, you end up losing a lot of friction. You got to keep adjusting stuff.
Yeah.
With my holster, I've never had to adjust the
Tension.
yeah, exactly. And so it just stays in my bag. I don't have to worry about the gun coming out of the holster.
And I assume that is part of that is how tight they're made.
Actually, we run it a little looser.
But I mean, the reason you don't get that wear is because of such the smaller
it's
measurements
almost
y'all
like
have used
Yes,
to
yes,
make the gun.
yes.
It's
Okay.
almost like there's like a natural like locking, like
Yeah.
a lock to it. You know.
And that's something that we actually it was a trial and error process, right? It's like, how do we want this to feel? And is this feel appropriate for professionals, not just civilians, right? Because our focus is really professionals.
Yeah.
And getting opinions from professionals means that our product will transfer over to consumers. And our opinion is that the more feedback we can get from professionals, our products are just going to go more and more. And we're not following trends. We're not doing that type of stuff. You know, we're trying to fix and solve problems that professionals have. And that's our goal with the company.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, dude.
So how did you get into holster making?
So actually my background is corporate 100 companies.
Really?
So I had a corporate job, and then I left the corporate world, kind of fell into this. I bought some gear from like a big name. Well, now he's big name. At the time, he was a big name, and the gear sucked. It was shitty. It was.
I was about to ask you. Tell us the name.
Oh man, it was so
maybe
bad.
just hold
And I don't really want to say the name right now because I'm kind of
it's okay.
So, but other than that, I kind of fell into it. I got actually I got encouraged by a BCE owner and another fire instructor, Todd Nielsen, and they were the two big dudes that pushed me to actually start a business. And essentially, I just launched a Facebook campaign. It blew the company up, and then now we don't run no ads.
Here
you
we
know,
are.
here we
Total
are.
Recon 2021.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think, Mark?
Dude, they're nice, man. It's sturdy. I'm curious to try this.
Put it in your pants right now.
Yeah, we can share ball sweat. It's cool. Don't worry. No one's gonna judge us.
Dude, what I love about them the most too is they can literally get you whatever print you want. Like, dude, if you want crocodile print, dude, like you can get crocodile print.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it just goes, you know, that's the customization.
Customization.
Of the you know what I'm talking about.
Matt
right?
Tran, everyone.
Exactly. But that's the cool thing about them is like you can, you know, some people they just want something simple, but some people, you know, want to go outside the, you know, like Shady. That dude has like a neon green holster. I'm like, dude, holy shit. Like,
And
I
that's
could see
essentially,
I could
we're
see that through your
Americans,
pet.
man. We love
exactly.
things that are unique to our own personalities.
100%.
And that makes us freedom, you know?
Yeah.
Amen.
No,
I love it.
I love that stuff, man. I love the uniqueness. That's why I like the whole, because you would rarely ever see that out. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's a sugar skull print. It's actually one of our more popular prints. And we've worked with this one supplier. So this one supplier has super vibrant colors. It's just, dude, the colors and the work that they do is awesome. And it's not anything you're going to find from normal holster makers. This is a specific supplier that we work with. So it's something truly unique. And I think in the next couple of months, you're going to see a lot of exclusive collaborations that we have with a lot of big YouTubers and a lot of other big names. You're going to see a lot of exclusive stuff and a lot of custom camos, prints, the whole nine. So we're going to hit it pretty hard in 2021 with exclusive stuff.
I think we need something with our logo on it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be
I mean,
legit,
I might
bro.
know a guy that can help you.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so tell us about the weekend. What are y'all's thoughts on the weekend so far?
I got to go first. All right. So, I mean, I just flew in last night. This place is freaking awesome. 35,000 square feet of just pure guns. I mean,
That's
Yeah.
such a
I mean-
specific fact.
Oh, dude, like,
We've even had people on from
Oh,
TG.
yeah,
and
dude.
He's like,
I think
walked
I
up.
know
How
more
big
about
is
this
place?
building than I do about my own company. But I met Tristan here. He's one of the managers, and he took us back in the vault, and
Oh
we
my
told,
God,
oh
dude.
man, we
Oh,
geeked
wow.
out. I mean, there's like probably what 10 MP5s.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
dude,
There's
like
10 of
Tommy
everything.
guns. Yeah. I mean, he was like so secretive of it. He was like, don't post any of these pictures on
Yeah,
social media.
the same way I went
Yeah.
back there with Angela, and I was like, "Can I take a picture?" She's like, "Nope, this is the only area you won't allow anybody to take a picture." I'm like, "God."
I know. So if you guys want to shoot machine guns for your first time, dude, Texas Gun Experience has them for real, and they're a great staff. Everyone here has been super
Oh yeah,
knowledgeable.
for sure.
Yeah.
dude.
You know, we're just essentially with these type of events, it's just one big party for us. I mean,
Yeah.
we all get to see each other.
Yeah,
all
we
live in
did.
different
I-
There
states,
was
you know?
there was some drinking happening last
Oh,
night.
yeah.
for
Dear
sure.
Lord.
He legit ran it till the lights turned off. Like, legit. But, dude, honestly, like, same thing, dude. Like, this place is, like, I've never been to a place like this before. And, like, the options and availability of, you know, just the items that they have in store, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff in the store that you can't find anywhere.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, the way
Literally
that the-
anywhere right now.
The way that the industry is right now.
I
like,
have not looked at anything
Like, how
yet.
do you
Yeah.
just, like, how do they have so much? Like, how has nobody came and just
Yeah.
bought them all?
How do you still have ammunition, sir?
Exactly. And like like he said, the staff is just super nice. I've had no problems with like getting anything that I needed or
Yeah.
anything like that. The ranges are amazing.
Oh, God.
super nice ranges.
Oh, the
you
air
don't-
quality is so
Oh, man,
nice.
I was
in
just
there,
fixing to say, you don't
bro.
feel like
It
you're
is
eating
nice.
lead.
Yes,
Dude,
yes.
the air
Well,
quality.
dude, I was in there shooting, man, and dude, they were awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Yeah.
watch when the minigun was going off, or like if you've seen it, like you typically when those things fire, it's just nothing but smoke,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like you get some smoke, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like what you had seen. So you're already knowing that their ventilation system is far superior than other ranges.
Well, Brian was telling me from initial, because I was asking about his ventilation system, they could, during all the COVID protocols, they could stay at full capacity because they were constantly pushing in fresh air, so none of the air that they were using was ever considered contaminated.
Yeah, they were
that's crazy.
They
dude.
cycle the air through a actual like system where it's like comes in where you're shooting at the bay and it leaves the bay at the far end of the range, and it's like so you're constantly getting fresh air in.
Yeah.
And that minigun, I was actually 3 feet from the minigun. I didn't smell it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was blown away by the air quality in here. It's amazing, man.
Because I asked him, I was like, dude, it's like a cigar shop where you have like a ventilation system. He's like, nah, man. He's like, he's like, it might be something like that, but the way that circulates through, so it's freaking
And
great,
I will say this too about shooting indoors. I freaking hate shooting indoors.
Oh, I hate.
We all do. I
This
think
is
so.
I don't know what it is about this range, but I just went in with the regular old freaking cheap little ear protection that you just roll up real quick and stick in your ear, not like here, and not like any other indoor I've been in.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like I was really shooting indoor. You know, you're shooting indoors,
And you're getting that,
Yeah.
like everything bouncing off the
Exactly.
walls, coming back at you.
and
yeah,
you
for
still
sure.
got close baffles.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't explain what was happening.
But
That's
dude,
science,
it's got to be
but-
that like if you haven't been here before, they got these like weird pattern like beehive walls.
Yeah.
And it's got to have something to do with that. I
We're
don't know.
definitely
Like,
not
they could-
sound engineers,
For
but
sure,
yeah,
dude.
we're
I'm not even.
I don't know
anything close to it.
science.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know
I'm
science
Asian. I don't even
things.
know math, bro.
Well, that's a little weird.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's two of us, so I mean, like,
Yeah, that's very rare.
should kind of change
exactly.
your
Hence why they're on the
perception
Uncommon Line podcast.
Exactly. That's
Why we're in the
very
firearm
uncommon,
industry.
bro. Exactly.
Hey, let's ask Jeff our question.
here. Okay.
All right, Jeff. So in today's world, right, where we see so much commonness,
Okay.
so many people being mediocre, what does uncommon mean to you?
I mean, uncommon is being bold. It's really being that person that's not afraid of their own moral and ethics stand line and being able to not really brag about it, but stand by it solidly where they know or everyone else knows that that person has a moral compass. And to me, in today's world, I feel like that is very uncommon. But in our world, I feel like it's extremely common, and that's why
that's very
there's
true.
so
Yeah,
many
no,
of
yeah.
us that get along that the outsiders are the uncommon, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
it's true, and that's what's crazy, man. Is like, and what's crazy is like none of us are alike.
Yeah.
Like this whole entire
so
crew,
different backgrounds,
so,
bro.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
different
fucking
backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like I kind of come from the hood, and then like being accepted by
Nah,
so many
yeah.
cops, and
Nah,
like
nah.
these people that used to chase me when
I
I was
know,
younger,
dude.
and like
I know.
like
I
my
had-
criminal record is
I
like
had
a phone
no
book.
clue.
Don't worry, it was the first time, probably. You know,
So Matt, dude, something I realized when you came on and guest host, I never asked you the question I was supposed to.
Uh-huh.
So
that-
you got an answer.
Let's go,
so
man.
I think what's uncommon for me, it kind of plays in the same thing where nowadays you see like the generation now is just like they're super lazy. You know what I mean? Like you don't see the grind. Like, dude, don't get me wrong, I'm young, but I think like give the credit to my parents. They raised me correctly to where like, hey, you need to fucking grind in order to get what you want. And if you don't grind, like you're not gonna get it all. And like today's generation, you don't like I don't see that grind. Like even my little sister, you know what I mean? Like she's a part of she's technically a part of my generation, I guess. But like she's younger, you know what I mean? But she doesn't have that same grind that my older sister and I had. And it's weird. So that to me it's uncommon to see, just people out there grinding to get what they want. Even with the older people, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
they just expect things to be handed to them.
Yeah.
And like I said, in today's world, especially with what's going on now with like the pandemic and stuff like that, like there's no time to just be laying in bed. You know what I mean? Like if you're not out there grinding and doing what you like, doing what you love and doing what you want and getting what you want and getting out of it what you want need, then you're not going to be successful, or you're not going to get the things that you want in life or get the things out of life. So it's very uncommon to see like nowadays people just out there grinding in our world. You know what I mean? We see it a lot.
We
know
see
what I
it
mean?
constantly,
You see
yeah.
small businesses just fucking eating every day to just get out there and push their products or push out something. But like just in like outside of this industry, it's like
It's tough,
okay,
dude.
we're the like.
No, I agree.
And it's like it's weird coming from like an event like this where like you're just around like-minded people where like brand new companies like AccuFire, like they're out there grinding every day just to get their product out. It's weird to see that versus going out to just the normal world and you're like, where's everybody's mind at? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So-
Yeah, they're not willing to push it past their being outside of their comfort zone. You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's exactly
It's-
it, comfort zone. And I also think sometimes we're part of the problem, essentially.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because we show what we have, but you don't see the 20-hour days that I work. You don't, you know, like
You see
I
the
work 56 days in a row, and
Yeah.
it's like you guys don't see that.
Yeah.
You guys just see
The fluff.
products.
You see the
guys,
product, you see
you
the
guys see what
aftermath.
I have,
Yeah.
but you guys don't see the grind. And I think we're part of the problem to a certain extent, right?
because that's what we
Managing,
portray.
yeah, we
like, that's what
portray that
yeah, for
we're, you know, doing stuff, but the back end of stuff that we don't do, you know, we're not showing on Instagram or social media.
Exactly.
That's the work that we're putting in to obtain all those things. You know, the drive of owning those type of things fuels us differently rather than those people that are just like, oh, I wish I had what they had. Right? But it's not like, oh, I wish I had the work ethic or,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
discipline
Like
to get the
moral-
job done.
The moral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
different, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
Well, that's good, man. No, that was really good. Good conversation, man.
Thanks,
So
bro.
what do y'all got coming on now? You've got to go and
I'm pretty much done. I just finished up shooting with
You did?
Jonas on the range. Dude, that was fucking like that. I think I was gonna go back to that because you asked us our favorite part. Dude, that was my favorite part of the
Yeah.
entire event.
Anything
because,
doing
like,
with Jonas.
Jonas
Yeah,
is
dude,
cool,
for-
man.
like,
Like,
Jonas
this is my
is-
first time meeting him. He's awesome.
He's the man, dude. Like
and he can
scary
shoot.
as fuck. Yeah, dude.
He's
Like
the
he
real
gets
deal.
behind a gun and it's like this switch that just goes, yep,
Yep. And, yeah. Exactly.
level up,
Yeah.
And so
power mode.
Yeah.
It's like when you start
Hey,
pressing
power-
all the buttons really quick in Mortal Kombat when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Power.
Button smashing. Yep.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll catch up with you next time, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming back on the show. Mark,
be back.
anything in close?
Nah, man, awesome, you guys.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, guys. Here we are. Final interview of the day. Me and Mark. No guest.
Just
so,
us.
Yeah. So to close out Total Recon event here at Texas Gun Experience, it's been a lot of fun, man. I really wish we could have interviewed a lot more people.
Yeah.
It's just so much going on between all the other different lives and everything, and I think we're at a point where it's like we've got a good mix of everybody and a good representation of the event, and now we just want to go drink and mingle and enjoy some of the experience.
Yeah, I was about to say, enjoy some of the experience.
Yeah. So, Mark, overall thoughts of the weekend so far?
Dude, I mean, I think every time we do a show like this, and every time we get to interview people and we get to share stories and give these companies a platform to share their stories, I think I'm always blown away. And what an experience it really was, you know? So being able to do that, being able to just be a part of that, being able to listen to these stories, man, I like I said, dude, I'm blown away. Like, it was awesome. Like it was so cool.
It's really cool to see the mix of people. I think a lot of people don't realize the what do you call it? Like
Diversity,
the cultures, everybody here, but
yeah,
yet
the different
everybody's-
backgrounds, man.
One thing bringing everybody together, right?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, that's common. The common thing bringing everybody together, right? But this is uncommon. That this is not common, right?
Yeah.
So it was a really good weekend. Really excited that we got to be here. I think there's a lot of doors opening up for not only the show, but individuals that are involved with the different brands here.
Yeah.
That's going to open up some areas and opportunities for some other stuff after talking to some people this weekend. And especially here at Texas Gun Experience, having a place where we can come and have shows and interviews here is going to be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So we hope everybody kind of enjoyed the weekend. Got to see a little bit of the different side of the industry and the different side of the individuals here. And it wasn't just, you don't just take away that it's just guns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a gun-heavy weekend, right? We're at this event, but we wanted people to see that, like, there's these brands, right, these companies, but there's a human side of these things. That these people come from families and cultures and everything like that, and some humor, some seriousness, which is a good representation of the whole weekend. So
Yeah, that's just people and relationships in general, And I think the cool part too is it's kind of like what we talked about. You get to see individuals who are doing what they felt like they were being called to do, which I think a lot of people chase after. And I think some people are scared to take that leap. So if we can be that encouragement to them, that hey man, go after to do what you feel like you're being called to do, and don't worry about failing, because failing is part of the process.
Yeah, please fail.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to fail, because what did Qore Performance talk about?
Yeah.
Like, You learn that much when you fail. You learn more when you fail than when you
exactly
right
be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see the amount of people that are coming in the doors, and that it's not just one culture, one race. It's a bunch of different individuals that are coming together and trying to learn, to educate themselves, and enjoy this experience. And I'm starting to smell the barbecue, so now I'm getting hungry too. And I know my wife is hungry as well. So I really enjoyed the weekend, man. It was a really good time. We got to say thank you to our sponsors for the weekend. So Tachuntfish, we thank you so much for everything you got going on for the show, man. It's awesome. Make sure you all go check them out. We couldn't do any of this none of this would be possible without our sponsors, and they're one of them. And having them is awesome. So I got to tell you, it's companies like that. It's not just shorts. It's not just workout gear. It's a lot more. It's much more than that. And that's why we team up with people like that, and the people that believe in the culture and us and the show and just the future of the industry, right? And of course to Triarc Systems. Thank you so much, Triarc, Chris, everybody over there, everybody, Katya, Jay, y'all did an incredible job this weekend. We, really blown away. I know it's a really stressful time for everybody. A lot of things, a lot of moving parts, but hey, y'all pulled it off, and we're really grateful that y'all gave us the opportunity. Literally gave us a stage.
Yeah, literally, man. We're on a stage. It's crazy, dude.
To be able to do the show, and I can't wait for 2021 and the rest of 2021. We're just getting started. Coming up next, we've got some other shows up in the works. We'll be at Vulcan Machine Works doing a show with him. It's going to be a fun one. He doesn't even know it yet, but we're going to build Legos.
Yeah, dude.
It's like you two
we
are
gotta get him Star Wars
it's
ones,
like,
though.
yeah, it's y'all. It'll be a good episode for you two nerds, because I don't even. Yeah, so build some Legos, talk to Vulcan Machine Works, and be able to, he's got a really cool story in regards to his brand and what he's building, and,
Solid dude, man.
Yeah, solid dude, fun guy. And then, Jess, what do we got after that? The what? Oh yeah. So then we got
That's
a really
big
cool.
one, dude.
We got a really cool show coming up with Tanya Glenn. If anybody doesn't know anything about her, she's a psychologist, real heavy within the law enforcement realm, and dealing a lot with PTSD. And she's written a lot of books. Has a YouTube channel, and it's going to be a really cool conversation. I don't even know.
I'm excited, dude. I'm like beyond excited.
Yeah.
To just listen to what she has to offer and to say, man.
So we're going to head down to Austin and do the interview at her business, her practice, and be able to sit down and talk to her about the current issues we're facing in law enforcement with PTSD. Suicide rates are on the rise. And not only that, like one of the questions I got to ask is just keeping sanity during all this craziness, right?
Yeah.
Like
that
alone, that alone is crazy.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, dude. I'm curious to see what her analysis on the past year is.
It'll be interesting to see the effect it's all had on, her practice. I know she's not going to be able to talk about specific patients or anything, but it'll be a really good episode. Then we got some other stuff in the works, guys, that we'll keep you all up to date. Make sure you check us out on our Instagram, The Uncommon Line
Podcast.
Facebook, The Uncommon Line, website, www.theuncommonlinepodcast. Thanks again to Triarc. Thanks again to Tachuntfish. If you're going to Triarc, you're going to shop for anything, use code THUCL. Stay up to date on all of our drops coming up, guys. These episodes, if you're listening to them now, make sure if you're listening to them just on audio, go check out our YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe and like button. We need more follows on the YouTube channel. We're growing that right now, so make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're trying to do more video content, trying to do more lives on that platform, and we want to grow that. So, Mark, anything in closing?
Nothing, man. It was awesome, dude. Love learning.
Yep. Love learning. There's his closeout. Mine, stay safe, stay switched on, and stay on.